Okay guys, hi, welcome back to my channel. It is Bree here, and today we're talking about the college essentials. Let's just get right on into it. So if you ever catch me looking down, I'm checking my iPad. I wrote a list of all the college essentials specifically for the University of Minnesota, and these range from not only what you want in your dorm, but also just like day-to-day life. This isn't a full list by any means, but I just thought I would include the things that I didn't know would be so important to me during my freshman year. So the first category I'm going to touch on is school related. The first thing is having a laptop. Everything is online now. Everything. Teachers want to go paperless. There will not be anything that you can do without a laptop. That also goes into something else that I want to talk about that is really, really helpful, and that is getting an iPad. I have convinced so many of my friends to get iPads, especially when everything went virtual. It has just been a lifesaver because you can do so many things with it and have multiple screens open. And that is like the biggest thing, especially for a virtual environment, is being able to have so many tabs and windows open. And whether for you just want another monitor in front of you, an iPad is so user-friendly. There are so many different things you can do on it, not just school related, but also creative. I do a lot of stuff for YouTube on my iPad and social media as well. Something that I also do on there is take my notes. So notes are just difficult because it's different for everybody, but for me, I really do process things better when I write it. And with an iPad, you get an Apple Pencil and you write like you're writing notes, but they're all in one device, accessible anytime, and I can save them. It is just so convenient. It is an investment, but it is something that you will appreciate more than you think. Another couple things for the school list, but kind of more technology wise, is getting a pair of Bluetooth headphones, whether those are AirPods or Beats or whatever brand you prefer. It is so nice to be able to walk around campus and just connect them to your phone right away instead of having to dig out your cords and everything like that. This is something that is just like hard for me to process right now because I haven't been to an in-person class in forever, but the travel time exists. A lot of people listen to music, podcasts, just to like wake yourself up and put yourself in a good mindset before you get to class. Just another technology related thing is a Bluetooth speaker. Now I have a Sony speaker. I love it. I know a lot of people have the JLB speakers. They're just so small, you can easily carry them to any function you're going to. That is a must-have for sure. The next category we're gonna move on to is bath and toiletries. I would say that if you're looking at lists, you already know that it is very important to have shower shoes. You do not want to walk barefoot into a communal shower. Please don't do that to yourself. I'm gonna skip all of the obvious ones. Something that I didn't know I would love as much as I did is my bathrobe. I had a bathrobe at home and I didn't think I would need one. I just thought I'd use my towel. No, get a bathrobe. It is just so much nicer. Let me just say, showering in communal showers is not a walk in the park. It's not fun. You gotta make that experience as nice as possible for yourself because you're probably not gonna like it. Another necessity is getting a shower caddy. This is very commonly seen when talking about college essentials, but this is something you cannot pass up on, ladies and gents. I personally had a plastic one, I'll put it here, and I just really liked it, but I know people had like the bag ones and stuff like that. Either way, if you have a lot of products, you're gonna want a shower caddy. Also, I put my toothbrush and toothpaste in there as well, just because I personally just have a lot of products and I need them in some space. So, moving on to clothes. Living in Minnesota, clothes are make or break. Make or break, because Minnesota, I will say it once and I'll say it again, it flip-flops on you. Right when you get to school in the fall, it is hot as frick. And you're gonna be wanting to have the least amount of clothing on as possible. Some of the buildings do not have air conditioning. So you wanna make it as easy as possible on yourself when thinking about that. But then also, 2 weeks later, I'm not even exaggerating, it is fall. And it is freezing. You want a fall jacket, you want jeans, and you want fall boots, sneakers, whatever, but you are going to want a jacket already. Moving on to winter. Winter is very hit or miss here as well. My freshman year, we had the polar vortex. Let's not go back. It is ridiculously cold here, and it's not even just the temperature always, but the wind is killer. You want to prepare yourself for it because they're not gonna cancel class for that. They won't. Something that saved my life is investing in a good knee-length parka. That sounds ridiculous, and they are extremely expensive, but you're gonna use that more than 1 year. You want it as thick as possible. Even if you are someone who is warm-blooded, or is it cold-blooded? Whichever the one is that you are fine and you're warm all the time, you're still gonna want it because it will not matter. It is freaking cold, especially with a really good hood and something that will kind of partially shield your face. It'll just make or break your winter. And the thing that's deceiving about it too is that it's not even that cold leading up to December. So in the fall semester, it's not that bad. But then when you come back from winter break, January, February, March, that is when it's really, really bad. Going along with that, you are gonna want sweatshirts on sweatshirts. It'll be very hot and cold. I dress up occasionally to class, but you're gonna wanna have a variety of sweatshirts and comfy clothes that, you know, maybe are dressier, but you don't wanna be wearing the same sweatshirt to class every day or going back from class and only having one sweatshirt to wear. You're gonna want an abundance of different types of sweatshirts. Not everybody is dressed cute all the time. You'd be surprised to go to class, and I would say 75% of people do not dress up to class. If it's a hard morning, you're not gonna be reaching for the makeup. You're just gonna go. You're gonna go. Moving on to shoes. This is something we kind of overlook, and it's really hard because there are so many different types of shoes for different things. Of course, you're gonna want like one dressy pair, like a pair of heels, boots, etc. But in Minnesota, I would just say the range of shoes that you'll need might just be that much bigger. Moving back to the fall, you're definitely gonna want like very comfy sneakers and a very nice pair of comfy sandals. It's just nice to slide into my pair of Birks. I also know that there's other nice sandals like Chacos, Tevas, like Docs, but you just want something that is going to support your feet for a lot of walking. The University of Minnesota is a very big campus, and there is potential for a lot of walking. Now, I'm in a college where all my classes are kind of in the same area, but I have to walk across a bridge to get there, like a highway. So it is kind of far. Just take that into consideration. You want walking shoes. The last thing that I have for clothes are boots. Snow boots, specifically. And no, I am not talking about your childhood snow boots. No, those are ridiculous. I am saying like a good pair of non-slip boots. I know we're all into Uggs at some point of our life, if we're not now, but you will slip in them on our campus. Yes, there is salt in some places, but there are a lot of ice patches. You will slip. They're completely flat on the bottom and don't have a lot of great traction. You'll thank me for this warning. I invested in a pair of Sorels, and they're not like the huge chunky ones. I'll link a picture here. I rarely slip in these. They have great traction. Not knocking Uggs and other really fuzzy slippers like that. I personally do have a pair, and I would wear them inside the dorms if I'm going to grab food outside quick, like not if I'm going to make a trek, but if I'm gonna go outside quick, I will put on my Uggs. Okay guys, we are now on to our last but not least category, and that category is your dorm. Now, some of this is applicable to your apartment, but the apartment list is much longer than the dorm list. If you get this stuff for your freshman year, you're gonna have it for your following years. So it is just something that's kind of important to get your freshman year. You will want a mattress pad and a mattress topper. Now, a mattress pad, I believe, is just like a thin little pad on top, but under it you can put a mattress topper, and that can be 1 to 2 inches, and that will just sit on top of your bed. It's foam. Also kind of related to your bed is getting a bed bug protector. Some people skip out on this, but I personally would not want to have to get kicked out of my dorm because it was infested with bed bugs, and I would never want to wake up to having bed bugs in my bed. And I have heard stories of that, so just do it. Just get the bed bug protector. It's cheap. Another thing for your bed that I would also tell you to invest in is a sitting pillow. And these things look really weird, but once you're just on your laptop in your bed and you don't want to be at your desk anymore, you want to be in your bed, you're gonna want a pillow that is sturdy and will hold you up. I've had mine since my freshman year. I love it. This might sound weird, my next one, but I always have a dirty blanket and a clean blanket. And that sounds extremely strange, But let me tell you, it's very logical, especially once you're living on your own or you're frequently with friends or have friends over a lot. You're gonna have a blanket that you keep on your bed that is consistently clean and you're not gonna bring anywhere. And then you're gonna have another blanket that, you know, you'll bring to the common room, etc. Dorms are disgusting. Even if you keep your dorm clean, you do not know the types of bugs that are in there. And if you bring, for example, even to a movie, your blanket, think about the things that it's touched. Like, even if you don't drag it on the floor, think about the things it's touched. I have personally found a spider in my own blanket after bringing it somewhere, and that has just freaked me out enough so that I have different types of blankets. Another necessity, which, you know, is definitely for what you want, is you're gonna want extra lighting, and for me, that is string lighting. Personally, I think that Christmas lights do it best. They're bright, or LED lights, because you can choose different colors and stuff. But if you're thinking for a vibe, you're gonna want extra lighting in your dorm, especially when you don't want the bright fluorescent lights blinding you at night. You just want something nice to put on, whether that be your fairy lights, your Christmas lights, whatever. And you're gonna want it to be easily accessible to plug in, to turn on. The next few things that I have are kind of related more to organization, and the first one is a vanity organizer, and I put all of my hair binders, bobby pins, chapsticks, etc., and I put that on my vanity, and it was so nice because I didn't have to dig into everything, all these little bags. Another thing to think about is having food storage, and I just had a big clear bin under my bed, which I put all of my snacks into. I know other people get like shelves or those pods where you can put little baskets into. Those are great, but sometimes hard to like fit into small places. It's just whatever works for you. You're gonna want some snack storage. Also relating to snacks, I would have snack containers, whether that be Tupperware, reusable bags, so you can grab stuff from the dining hall, sneak it away, or put any of your snacks into one of these containers to have for class. I am one who likes to munch in class. I don't know if you are, but I get hungry, I get hangry. I'm not gonna pay attention if I'm hangry, okay? Another thing to think about in relation to this is reusable bags. And my freshman year, I mostly utilized my Lululemon bags. I had like the smaller one and a bigger one. I used the bigger one for grocery shopping. I would use the smaller ones usually if I was just going to stay at a friend's or if I was gonna go to the gym. And these are a little more random, the next few things that I'm gonna talk about. And the first thing is a phone wallet. Do with this what you will. Your freshman year, you are gonna need your student ID all the time. You're gonna need it to get into your dorm. You're gonna need it to get food. It is just gonna be coming up a lot. Also, sometimes on exams as well. So you're gonna want that, your ID, and by that I mean your driver's license, your credit card, whatever. You want that in an accessible place, and take that with a grain of salt because I've also lost my phone before and then you're out of all your cards. So it's really up to you what you want to do with that information, but I know a lot of people love them for sure. And then another thing you're gonna want is reusable dishes and utensils for your room. I would make like Easy Mac all the time in my dorm. I would also like cut up an apple. You're gonna want to have your own items in your room. The last few things I'm gonna say are actually highly talked about, and I'm just gonna list them off because I don't think they really need much explanation. So an extension cord, you're gonna want one with multiple outlets, and you're gonna want another one that's just super long. Another thing you're gonna want is like a shoe organizer. Mine personally was in my closet and I had it hanging, and I had one of the bigger ones, so all of the little holes were bigger. I could fit multiple pairs of shoes in them, and then at the bottom I also put random stuff like scarves, things I wanted easily accessible. The last thing I'm gonna say is you're gonna want a handheld vacuum. Okay guys, that's all that I wanted to share with you guys today. There are definitely so many other things you want to add to your list, but for me, these were things that I hadn't considered prior to moving in. I'll definitely be doing more stuff like this in the future. Let me know if you have any suggestions, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!